Every new day is a gift from God, filled with opportunities, blessings, and challenges. As we wake up each morning, it is important to acknowledge the divine presence in our lives and seek guidance and strength from the Almighty. Starting our day with a blessed morning prayer allows us to align our hearts and minds with God's will and surrender our lives into His loving hands. Through this prayer, we recognize that our lives are in God's hands and that He is the source of our strength, comfort, and hope. Today we will explore a morning prayer that can help us begin our day with faith and gratitude, drawing upon the timeless wisdom found in the Bible. In our morning prayers, we start by acknowledging the sovereignty of God and His authority over all aspects of our lives. We recognize that He is the creator of the universe and that everything we have and everything we are is ultimately from Him. By incorporating the verse from Job chapter 12 verse 10, "In His hand is the life of every living thing and the breath of all mankind," we affirm our trust in God's providence and His complete control over our lives. This acknowledgement humbles us before His greatness and reminds us that our lives are secure in His loving hands. Gratitude is an essential element of a morning prayer. We express our thankfulness for the gift of a new day and the countless blessings it brings. We acknowledge God's faithfulness in sustaining us and His provision in our lives. Incorporating the verse from Psalm 118 verse 24, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." We are reminded to approach each day with a heart full of gratitude. This verse encourages us to find joy in the present moment, to appreciate the blessings that surround us, and to embrace the opportunities that lie ahead. In the Blessed Morning Prayer, we seek God's guidance and wisdom to navigate the challenges and decisions of the day. We acknowledge our limited understanding and depend on His divine wisdom to lead us in the right path. By incorporating the verse from Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." We demonstrate our reliance on God's guidance. This verse reassures us that when we trust and submit to Him, He will direct our steps and make our paths clear. Life is filled with uncertainties and difficulties, and in the morning prayer, we seek God's strength and protection. We acknowledge our dependence on Him to face the challenges that may arise throughout the day. By incorporating the verse from Psalm chapter 28 verse 7, which goes, "The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in Him, and He helps me." We declare our trust in God's provision. This verse reminds us that God is our source of strength, our protector, and our helper. With Him by our side, we can face any obstacle that comes our way. In the Blessed Morning Prayer, we surrender our plans, desires, and concerns to God, acknowledging that His will is greater than our own. We express our willingness to align our lives with His purpose and trust His perfect timing. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." In this we find comfort and assurance in God's plans for our lives. This verse reminds us that God's plans are good, and by surrendering to His will, we can find hope and confidence in His guidance. By including these elements into our morning prayers, we create a sacred space of connection and gratitude, and we surrender to God's will. It sets the tone for our day, aligning our hearts and minds with His purposes and inviting His presence to guide and sustain us in every step we take. We remind ourselves of His sovereignty, express gratitude for His blessings, seek His guidance, rely on His strength, and surrender to His plans. In doing so, we embark on each new day with faith, hope, and a deep sense of connection with our loving Creator. So question yourself, how can I further acknowledge God's sovereignty in my life and trust in His control over all things? Acknowledging God's sovereignty requires a humble and surrendered heart. Take a moment to reflect on the magnitude of God's power and the intricate details of His creation. Recognize that He holds the entire universe in His hands, including your life and every circumstance you encounter. Pray for the grace to trust in His control over all things, even when circumstances seem uncertain or challenging. Remind yourself of His faithfulness in the past and meditate on scriptures that affirm His sovereignty. As you surrender your plans and desires to Him, invite His presence to guide your thoughts, actions, and decisions throughout the day. Ask yourself, what specific blessings am I grateful for today? And how can I cultivate a heart of gratitude throughout the day? Cultivating gratitude starts with consciously acknowledging the blessings in your life. Begin by thanking God for the gift of a new day, the breath in your lungs, and the opportunity to experience His love and grace. Consider the relationships, provisions, and opportunities you have been blessed with. Take a moment to express gratitude for the people who enrich your life, the simple pleasures that bring you joy, and the lessons learned from both triumphs and trials. Throughout the day, develop a habit of noticing the small blessings that often go unnoticed, and offer prayers of thanks in those moments. Gratitude transforms our perspective and opens our hearts to the abundant grace that surrounds us. Ask yourself, in what areas of my life do I need God's guidance and wisdom? How can I surrender my own understanding and submit to His direction? You should seek God's guidance and wisdom in all areas of your life. Your relationship, career, decision-making, and personal growth. Recognize that your own understanding is limited, but God's wisdom is infinite. Through prayer and reflection on His Word, invite His guidance into specific situations or decisions you are facing. Surrender your desire for control and submit to His direction, even when it may not align with your initial plans or expectations. Trust that His plans are always good and His timing is perfect. Embrace the process of surrendering your own understanding and opening yourself to God's divine wisdom, knowing that He will make your path straight and lead you toward a future filled with hope and purpose. Beginning our day with a blessed morning prayer allows us to invite God into our lives, acknowledging His sovereignty, expressing gratitude, seeking guidance, and surrendering to His will. Through the incorporation of verses in the Bible, we are reminded of God's promises, His faithfulness, and the strength and comfort that can be found in His Word. As we make this prayer a daily habit, we cultivate a deeper relationship with God, finding peace and assurance in the knowledge that our lives are in His loving hands. May this blessed morning prayers be a source of inspiration and encouragement as you embark on each new day, trusting in God's unfailing love and guidance.